Hi, I'm Annie Sovereign. I'm a local broker here in Fort Worth, Texas, and today I want to talk to you about assumable loans. So, an assumable loan is a great way to market your property, especially if you have an interest rate below 3%. The way that an assumable loan works is basically you've got a house listed for $300,000 and you have a principal balance of $200,000. The new buyer is going to come in, make up that difference, and assume your current payment and loan. So this is ideal for a buyer who is selling a property. They've got a ton of equity that they had already planned into rolling into the new property, so they can come up with that difference. There's a common misconception that you can get a second lien against your property to cover the difference, and that's just not the case. So what you want to make sure that your listing agent understands before they're listing your property as an assumable loan is what is your principal payment and what makes up that payment. So they want to know what your principal payment is, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance payment. And the reason why is because your insurance policy right now is under your name when you're listing a property. Whoever is going to buy the property is going to get a new insurance policy, and that payment can fluctuate a bit. So these are the things that you need to know before you list your house as an assumable. You also need to understand that you can list your house as an assumable with an FHA loan or a VA loan. And a non-VA person can assume a VA loan. So a lot of times I have people say, they only want a VA person to assume a VA loan. And that is because their VA entitlement benefits are tied up into that VA loan. So if the seller is going to go and use another VA loan to purchase a property, that may be detrimental to them to have those entitlement benefits tied up into that property because they won't come off until the new buyer refinances. And if they're in a 3% interest rate, it is not likely that is going to happen in the near future. So if a buyer qualifies for purchasing a property using an assumable loan, they don't actually get approved by a local lender. They get approved by the servicer of that loan. So if you have a PennyMac loan and you are offering it as an assumable, that buyer is going to apply with PennyMac. Whether they've been approved by another lender or not, that new servicer is going to approve them. And so you want to make sure that you have the documents that are required by that servicer to be able to market your property as assumable. And they're not all created equal. So some servicers can close a property in 45 days. Others are going to take 90, even 120 days. So it's extremely important that you understand the timelines of that servicer and how they process their assumable properties. Once you've gone under contract on an assumable loan, you are going to start the approval process and the servicer is then in control. And they'll tell you how long those timelines are and they manage that every step of the way. You will still have a title company involved in this process because they do need to change title from the seller to the buyer. So you'll have to pay for that cost, but there are no closing costs. So there is a small fee, and you need to find out what that fee is from the servicer. But most times when you go to purchase a property, you're going to have a ton of closing costs. And that's another reason why an assumable loan is so attractive, is because it's a fraction of what those closing costs typically are. So if you're curious about whether or not you should be listing your home as an assumable property, it's been sitting on the market for 90 days. You need to figure out a way to get it off of the market, and this seems like an attractive way to go. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. We love to help people find creative options to get their houses marketed and sold appropriately in a very fast timeline. So I'm here local to Fort Worth. My name is Annie Sovereign. I'm a broker here, and I would love to help. So please reach out.